Welcome to today's market report. European stock markets pushed higher Thursday, helped by positive results from a potential COVID-19 vaccine, although sentiment remains cautious as coronavirus cases mount ahead of the release of key US employment data. At 8:30 this morning, the DAX in Germany traded 1.6% higher, France's CAC 40 rose 1.3%, and the UK's FTSE 100 was up 0.8%. News emerged late Wednesday that a potential COVID-19 vaccine developed by Pfizer and BioNTech performed well in early-stage human trials and saw the production of neutralizing antibodies in older patients who were inoculated after 28 days. Progress on the vaccine front has become doubly important as events in the US, UK and elsewhere have cast doubt over the willingness and ability of Western countries to enforce lockdowns effectively enough to contain the virus spread. The number of reported cases in the US, the world's economic engine, rose to over 50,000 on Wednesday. It is a new record for one day, according to data compiled by Johns Hopkins University. In European corporate news, AB Foods stock rose 7.6% after the retailer said that trading in its Primark fashion stores that reopened after lockdown has been reassuring and encouraging, despite its third quarter revenue falling sharply. It also reported strong trading at its sugar business. Meggitt stock climbed 6.7% after aerospace supplier said it is experiencing initial signs of recovery in commercial aerospace, even as its revenue fell steeply in the second quarter. Engie stock rose 2.6% after the French utility company agreed to sell a 49% stake in a US renewables portfolio. May unemployment data for the Eurozone is due out at 10 o'clock London time, and it is expected to show a rise in the unemployment rate to 7.7% from 7.3% in April. But the main focus of the day will turn to the release of US employment figures at East time 8:30 a.m. to see if the world's largest economy can sustain its fragile recovery. That is 1:30 p.m. in London. Economists are forecasting that US economy added 3 million jobs in June after a shock 2.5 million gain a month earlier, but the 2 months of gains would still pale in comparison to the approximately 22 million jobs that were lost in March and April. Oil prices edged higher on Thursday after Energy Information Administration data late Wednesday showed U.S. crude inventories fell 7.2 million barrels from a record high last week, far more than expected. This backed up the American Petroleum Institute data from the previous day, which suggests a bump up in demand for crude. At 8:45 this morning, U.S. crude futures traded 1.2% higher at $40.3 a barrel. The international benchmark Brent contract rose 1.3% to 42.58. Gold futures were largely flat at $1,780.25 per ounce. On the FX front, GBP/USD has just emerged above 125, up 0.25% on the day, amidst general US dollar weakness. Karen Jones at Commerzbank targets the 126.84-200 DMA after the initial resistance at 125.17. Following the Daily Telegraph report that the UK will ditch air bridge plan and introduce a quarantine exemption list for as many as 75 countries, so the Brits could go on a holiday. The country's junior minister, Simon Clarke, said, "We are looking at ways to give people a chance to get a summer holiday." Eurodollar pushes higher and trades closer to 113 level. The better mood in the shared currency is extending for the second session in a row and is now pushing Eurodollar to challenge weekly tops near 113 the figure. Eurodollar is adding to Wednesday's losses in the vicinity of 113 mark in the second half of the week. always against the backdrop of the improved sentiment in the risk-associated universe. In fact, the combination of news that a COVID-19 vaccine could be out soon, plus further progress in the reopening of the economy in Europe, have bolstered investors' preference for riskier assets in the last couple of sessions. Data-wise, in Euroland, Spanish unemployment rose by more than 5,000 during June, confirming the downtrend since March's tops near 302,000. In Italy, the jobless rate ticked higher to 7.8% in May. The dollar was on the defensive in early European trade Thursday, with traders turning to perceived riskier currencies amid optimism surrounding a potential COVID-19 vaccine, as well as solid economic data. Analysts said, "We are more nervous about the July non-farm payrolls figures that will be published in early August, which could significantly disappoint markets. If renewed containment measures across numerous states make it unviable for businesses to operate, then it will only add to the problems in the jobs market." This is today's market news. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next time.